Illuminance grids come in two forms: point-in-time illuminance grids and annual illuminance grids. This video is about how to generate annual illuminance grids. When you want to run an annual analysis, click New, then Annual Grid Illuminance in the activity bar. The first option is quality. Quality is based on a set of radiance parameters. Higher quality will take longer to simulate but may increase accuracy. Your next option is point spacing. This is basically the density of your illuminance grid points. Smaller point spacing will increase the detail of your illuminance grids, but it will take a bit longer to compute. You can choose any point spacing. Even choose a custom point spacing. Next, you get to choose which annual analysis type you would like to run. You have 6 options. ASE, or annual sunlight exposure, is a great metric for measuring glare, or where there is direct sunlight on the workplane. It will always remove the blinds for simulations. It is also part of the LEED v4 option 1 requirements. The other annual metric that's part of the LEED v4 option 1 requirements is SDA, or spatial daylight autonomy. Spatial daylight autonomy measures the amount of quality daylight in a space with blinds operating when there is too much direct sunlight. If you do not want blinds to operate for your SDA calculation, just turn them off in the left panel. CDA, or continuous daylight autonomy, measures how much of the time a room's lighting needs can be met by daylight alone. It provides partial credit when the minimum threshold is not met. Daylight autonomy, on the other hand, is just like CDA, but it gives no partial credit. UDI, or useful daylight autonomy, describes the percentage of hours in a year that a point in space is within a range of acceptable illuminance values. You can choose these bounds on your own before simulating. Average illuminance is the simplest annual metric. First, it measures illuminance levels at each point in your space during daylight hours over the course of the year, and then it averages these hourly values. For more information about the different annual metrics, please visit LightStanza.com and click on the references page. Occupancy lets you decide which hours to measure each day of the year. So for example, a school might have different occupancy hours than an office building or a hospital. Then there are some bounds you can change. These inputs still change depending on which annual simulation you have selected. If it is ASE, you can choose the maximum amount of hours your space's illuminance grid points should meet or exceed 1,000 lux in a year. The maximum duration must be 250 hours if you are analyzing for LEED v4 credit. If you've selected SDA, you can choose your target illuminance and then the minimum percentage of the year that your space can meet or exceed that illuminance. Don't forget, though, that these numbers must be 300 lux and 50% for LEED v4 analysis. For CDA and DA, you can choose your illuminance targets to see how much of the year your space hits it. And then UDI lets you choose your range of acceptable illuminance values with low and high illuminance target inputs. And then you can choose the appropriate sky type for your simulation. Next, click Start Simulation and watch for your results. Don't forget that legends, scores, and averages will appear at the top of your screen when viewing your results in 3D.